The Australian Open is over, but many just cannot seem to stop talking about it. The controversy surrounding Novak Djokovic's injury has dominated conversations, even 3 days after the slam got over. Djokovic was forced to retire from his semi-final match against Alexander Zverev due to injury. But incredibly, many do not seem to be buying it. The noise, in fact, was so loud that Djokovic resorted to uploading pictures of the scans of his thigh to make a point. The Serb put up the MRI scans showing his hamstring injury on his social media platform to subtly tell the world that he was indeed injured. But did he really have to do that? Have you seen any athlete, especially of his stature, have to do that with the intent of showing proof? Now, on normal days, the physical evidence would be enough to end all speculations. Even the judicial system believes so. A proof, that too, a physical one, should have put a stop to any more talk regarding this. But in Djokovic's case, the scans were not enough and probably made things worse. The latest to join the din is tennis legend Rafael Nadal's uncle and coach Toni Nadal.
On several occasions, we have seen Novak with similar performances, using facial expressions and body language that contradict what we see on the court, raising doubts about the authenticity of his issues.
Now, Toni Nadal isn't the first person to question the authenticity of Djokovic's injury. Through the campaign, in fact, several allegations were laid against the Serb. It started during the quarter-final match against Carlos Alcaraz. Djokovic was slammed for taking a medical break after losing that first set. He was even mocked by Carlos Alcaraz himself, who copied the limp during the match for drama. Tennis great John McEnroe was harsh. He said Djokovic was faking his injury right there. But when Djokovic retired from the semi-final match, it did show that the Serb wasn't entirely 100% fit. But the Australian crowd didn't really buy into this. They booed Djokovic as he made his way out of the Rod Laver Arena.
Why there was such a protest in the stands? I understand that the public showed their disappointment and anger at being deprived of the spectacle they had been expecting after having paid for it. The second and perhaps most significant reason is that over the years, there has been a growing suspicion around Novak due to his expressions or histrionics, casting doubt on the authenticity of his injuries.
What's horrible for the Serb and his fans is that the allegations are pouring in even after Djokovic uploaded those scans. Has that antagonized the public, made them feel he was overcompensating in some way? But didn't the public force his hand in the first place? Many feel it's sickening that Djokovic has to explain himself. Star former cricketer and commentator now, Kevin Peterson, and Djokovic's former coach Boris Becker came out in strong support of the former world number one. Now look, the person everyone is trying to corner and defame is no newbie. He's no fresh kid on the block. He's arguably one of the greatest to ever play the game. The one who has won most number of Grand Slam titles so far, and who's now pulled out of Serbia's first round qualifying Davis Cup tie against Denmark. The match, which will take place in the next 3 days. Reason given, Djokovic is still recovering. Now, nobody needs a reminder on just how much Djokovic cherishes playing for his flag, how much he loves Serbia. He's the same person who was moved to tears after he got a rousing reception from all of his fans in Serbia when he returned post that US Open triumph in 2023. He's the same person who, after years of dreaming, finally managed to clinch an Olympic gold for Serbia last year.
I think now, when I look back, the greatest achievement and greatest highlight of my career overall, winning the gold for Serbia.
99 major titles, which includes 24 Grand Slams, and yet the biggest prize of his career is that gold. So will the tennis world continue to accuse him of faking his injury? Will they still demean Djokovic by questioning his lack of commitment? Forget personal glory, for Serbia at least.
We're calling the show Vantage. We hope you like what we've put together for you. Touted as the minimum defense from that video. India's neighbours were the first to send the special edition of Vantage live from the White House throughout the week. Hindu Mandir we're on our way to Tel Aviv. Pretty measure, but it's also the perfect way to drive.
I don't think that
Prime Minister of Bhutan, Sherin Tagwe. Welcome to
60% of the world's
office. Prime Minister Modi did the iron.
we were actually
How are you doing? How do you like? It's been 1 year since that meeting. Iron bars separate you from the outside. Out the vote effort. Trump had, it says, and at $4.3 trillion. 300 billion by 2030. That's what we need to tackle climate change.